What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon and welcome to Let's Talk Dallas Cowboys here
Let's
on the Let's
go.
Talk Sports Network as well as the Bottom Line Sports Network. Joining
Let's
me
go.
here, as always, we got my man Flo from the Bottom Line Sports. Flo, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm here just waiting for this big game to come up this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, well, let's start with the obvious one. You called it last week. You said Dak's probably going to be resting at the end of the fourth quarter.
Right.
Big game by the Cowboys last
Right.
week.
Yep.
It started out, what was it, 36-3, close to halftime. 33-9 at halftime, I believe, something like that.
Yeah, some crazy number.
A lot.
I thought it'd be closer. They would pull away second half, but I figured I just had a feeling Dak was gonna be resting fourth quarter. There was that kind of feeling for that game.
Yeah, and I mean, it helps when your defenses play very, very well. This is probably one of their best games. Special teams had a couple big plays. Got the safety off the blocked punt, and then of course Dak had a fantastic game. I was saying all this week this was his best game in 2 years.
And there again, a lot of his big plays were when he was moving around using his legs.
Mm-hmm. His legs, moving around the pocket, getting out in space.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I said this was his best game in 2 years. It really, the only blemish was the interception, and that wasn't even his fault. It hit McKinnon in the hands, and it bounced off into the defender's hands. So really, the only mistake he made wasn't even his fault.
Yeah, entirely. It was partly. I mean, it wasn't a great foot on ball, but yeah, it was catchable.
Mm-hmm. Right. Speaking of career days, how about CeeDee Lamb in this game? 8 catches, 130-something yards, 2 touchdowns in the first half alone. Right. I mean, he was balling. And not to say that everybody else wasn't, but this is what happens with the Cowboys offense. It's like you get CeeDee Lamb, you feed 88 the ball, and good things happen. So, you got to feature CeeDee Lamb a lot in this offense. And again, like you said with Dak has to run, use his legs, get out of the pocket, move out in space, run it if he can. But overall, what did you think of this game?
Overall, I mean, to be honest, it went almost as expected, but it would. I mean, we pulled away a lot earlier than I thought. Other than that, it went pretty much like expected. Dak has always played well as a home favorite in at least the last few years, most of his career, really. But he always plays well, and so I figured this was how it's going to go. The Rams, the only thing that had a little hesitation just because the Rams had just lost the week prior, so I thought they would be a little more motivated this coming week, but I still had a feeling we'd pull away. I just didn't think it would be so early.
Yeah, unfortunately, Stafford got hurt about midway through this game, so their offense really just wasn't in sync.
I think
they did get some movement in the third quarter. They got a couple touchdowns here in that third quarter, but once the fourth quarter hit, the defense kind of clamped down. They got some big turnover. They got some turnovers actually. So Micah had a big game. Deron Bland, another pick six. He's got 3 on the season.
Right.
Who would have thought that?
Cook's got another touchdown.
Michael Gallup had a couple good catches in this game.
Right.
Jake Ferguson had a touchdown at the beginning. So, Dak's spreading the ball around. Obviously, he's going to find CeeDee Lamb more than anybody. But, when
that's
he's
what they had to do. We talked about that, getting him involved early in order so that he doesn't kind of fade away,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I see you're watching the Oklahoma State game
over
there.
Yeah, I think they gave the ball back to the Cowboys. So,
y'all can't afford another loss.
No. In case anybody's wondering, this is the final Bedlam game, so this means more to most of us than usual. So, but yeah, I mean, great game by the Cowboys. Great game plan. They finally put everything together coming off the bye week. Mike McCarthy does very well coming off the bye week. We kind of mentioned that last week,
right?
And he kind of showed it here in this game. So
yeah, and I think we're still kind of struggling in the run game, but though having Dak running a little bit has helped, but we just can't seem to get solid run game going. You have a burst or two from Pollard. but I just feel like the run game is still struggling a bit.
Yeah, it's not coming together like you would think. I mean, they're still winning. They're still playing great on offense, but like it's not what you're hoping for, especially on the running game side of things. So they still got to figure that out. And you can't really be a one-dimensional team going against the team we're facing this week.
Right.
It could rear its ugly head in this one.
And I figured that when we got so far ahead, we would really start pounding that running game and just start trying to run some clock. Try and get that run game, at least get quote unquote practice. Since it was it was out of hand. But we just didn't materialize. A good run game. Of course, Tyron, like you said, everybody was healthy, but Tyron Smith is still out. Looks like I thought he was going to be in, but I guess he was still out.
Yeah, he was out last week, and Igdoba, who was their backup left tackle, also got hurt in this game. So that left tackle was kind of an issue for this game, but unfortunately for the Cowboys, it didn't really have to be a big part of what happened in this game plan. Yeah. The shout out to your wife there, Flo.
Yeah, shout out to her. She's going somewhere and she just wanted
to but yeah. But yeah, kind of going over that kill. Left tackle was kind of a problem for a day, but Adoba got hurt. But they settled down on the offense.
Yeah,
a line. Going through some of these stats. Like you said, Dak 25, 31, 304, 4 touchdowns. Had the 1 pick, but it really wasn't his fault. Pollard only 53 yards on 12 carries,
and that's really where you want Dak. That 30 to 34, 33 attempts. So it was perfect for Dak. I mean, but we just if we just establish a better run game, more solid runs. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Impressed with the defense, though, that they held both Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua in check in this game.
Right.
So good job by the defense.
Yeah, the defense definitely showed up. If the defense shows up like that in every game, I think we win every game, whether it's a blowout or a close game. I feel like we can win almost every game if the defense plays the way they've been playing.
I mean,
lately.
You get past this next game, you're into the easy part of the schedule. You got the Giants, you got the Panthers.
Yeah, and then there's a hard stretch at the end, but yeah, you can rack up some wins, and then as you hit the end of the schedule, where it gets a little tougher for about 4 games.
There's like Giants, Panthers, Washington, all coming up after this week, and so
yeah, so definitely we get this one, and then we can get on a little bit of a roll, and then as we hit the end, the tougher part of our schedule at the end of the year, we 1 or 2 losses won't hurt us or at as much. Hopefully. Hopefully we roll over everybody, but you got a little bit of a cushion if you continue to roll with this game and then into the end of the season.
A lot of similarities from last year. Last year they were consistently a game behind Philadelphia for the division. There was a couple times where you thought maybe they can usurp them here, especially when Jalen went down towards the end of the year. But right now they're kind of in that same spot. They're a game. I believe it's a game and a half because the Eagles haven't had their bye week yet. Game and a half behind Philadelphia. Philadelphia only has 1 loss. Dallas, has the 2, but they still can. Rectify that. They beat Philadelphia. It's basically a half game slide because Philly has more wins. But once that bye week takes effect, then the Cowboys will have that advantage. Especially if you go to Philly and win, because we talk about it. You can win in Dallas. You can definitely beat this team in Dallas. But if you go to Philly and win, that makes it so much harder for this team to maintain what they're doing. So
for sure. I always forget to go to the Cowboy room and put my Cowboy room in the background, but that's cool.
I mean, you'll figure it out one of these days. So
I'll figure it out one of these days. I'm always like doing last minute stuff, when we're getting ready. Plus, my internet's been out all day, and so it just came up literally about 15 minutes before we started. The internet came up, and I was gonna have to run off my phone. But it literally came up like 15 minutes before we went on. It was crazy.
Oklahoma State just tried a running back pass and it got intercepted. So, Not a good play call. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah, you can't run that. You can't do that.
Especially if you're at your own goal line, you can't do trickery like that towards your own goal line. That's not going to work. It's too cramped. It's too cramped.
Yeah, that wasn't a good play. I don't know what he was doing there. It's like they're trying to lose the game at this point.
I don't know. I don't know what
you guys are going to win. Just pay attention to this show and just.
I'm trying to, but after last week, I can't be too careful with this team,
let it go. You guys are going to pull it out.
Yeah, I think so too. But
yeah.
No,
I get it.
Meanwhile,
back my Red Raiders were on, I'd be like.
Meanwhile, at the real Cowboy show,
right?
We'll once Can hops in, we'll definitely get his thoughts on the game and stuff like that.
On last game. Yeah.
On the last game. So who was the standout performer in that game to you?
In the last game?
In the last game.
In this last game, I have to say CD Lamb. I mean, he really had a great game. I don't think he's had a game like that in a while. I think is that the most yards he's gained all year.
I think it's the most yards he's had all year. But it's been one of his better games of his career too.
Yeah. So just the fact that he was able to really get going, I think. That's always good for the offense because getting him involved early is always good for everybody else, right? Because they have to really pay attention to him. The defense has to pay attention to him, and then everybody else kind of feeds off of what CD Lamb, getting all the attention and getting all those yards. He had 158 yards and then 2 touchdowns. I mean, he had a great game. He's probably the standout, and then maybe 1A or 1B would be Dak. He had a great game, 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, like you said. I know that 1 interception. Exceptional game for him. He moved around, like you said, and only had about when he only gets about 31, 32, 33 attempts, that's where you want Dak to be in attempts. You don't want him getting past that 33 mark too much or too many times. That's when he's at his best, and when he's moving around. And so it's almost a tie between him and CD Lamb. They both had a great game. They both had a standout game for them. Probably both of their best games for both guys. Dak had a good game last game as well, but CD especially had a good game this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go off the beaten path here. I'll say the defense. Specifically,
defense.
I'll give a couple guys shout outs here. Deron Bland, as we mentioned before, had the pick 6.
Yeah,
he's done very, very well since Trayvon went down. Had obviously had the bad game against San Francisco, but since then he's cleaned it up. He's gotten better. It seems like he gets better as the weeks go on. He's becoming that reliable number 3 corner now. So for when Trayvon comes back, he's still going to be. They're going to still find a way to use him. Likely as the slot corner. He does very well in the slot. He's a very good slot corner, but he's starting to do well on the outside. He's developed as an outside cornerback.
And I think I mentioned this last time, but having him be able to do this well is great for him as he'll probably transition into that spot that Stephon is playing right now. Gilmore's playing that spot now. And, he's only got maybe a year, good 1, maybe 2 at the most, but he's going to transition at some point out as the starter at the other corner. And you have your future at that other corner now with Bland, playing as well as he has.
Mm-hmm. And then the other guy, obviously, is number 11, Micah Parsons, made an impact right away in this game. He had a big game. The defense as a whole played great in this game, great bounce back really for them against the Rams team that was playing well offensively. They've been putting up numbers offensively. It's just it usually takes them a little while to get going. And because of that, the Cowboys were able to exploit that, get the pick 6 early, and really put this game out of reach to the point where, you had to bring in Mark Rippon. You had to bring or Brett Rippon. I'm sorry, I'm not confusing him with Mark Rippon, who actually took Washington to a Super Bowl. But
there you go.
I think they're related in some way. I think that's his son, if I'm not mistaken, Mark Rippon's son.
No, I think it's his
grandson
his nephew,
or something like that. Nephew.
Yeah,
something
it's
like
his
that.
Brother's, it's his brother's kid. I think that's what they were saying.
It's something like that. He's related to him somehow. Obviously,
I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Stafford goes down in this game. Their defense, Rams defense, did not have a good game. Aaron Donald wasn't much of a factor. He had a couple big plays in this game. Other than that, he wasn't really much of a factor at all. So good job by the offensive line for, even though there was a lot of injuries, especially at left tackle.
Right.
But, great job. Marquise Bell had another good game. Defense played great. All around, great team performance. If anything, just give the game ball to Mike McCarthy, because this is probably the best game he's called all year.
Give him the game ball.
Like front, back, sideways, best game he's coached all year. So
yeah,
great job by the coaching staff as well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they've done well, and the defense, is doing well as a whole. 18 sacks this year. I think they've had 6 forced fumbles, and so I think they're getting the ball, they're getting turnovers. Let me see how many interceptions they've had this year. How many interceptions have they had?
There's quite a few. I know Bland has 3 pick sixes, and he's had a couple more, I believe.
Right. No, I think it's 9 interceptions this year.
9 or 10, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 9, and then so they're doing well. It's just those 2 hiccups, it seems, this year that have really killed us when they've struggled on defense. And so, let's hope they continue to at least play very well to great. As long as they can play pretty close to their potential, we'll be okay.
Mm-hmm. So, kind of moving into this matchup next week, this Sunday against the Eagles. You go to the link. The Eagles they've been kind of up and down. As far as their offense has been concerned. On one hand, you have AJ Brown, who's having a historic year. 125 yards in the last five or six straight games, which I believe is an NFL record. But on the other hand, Jalen struggled, with turnovers in certain spots.
Yeah.
Defensively, they've been one of the best defenses in the league, especially stopping the run. That defensive front is very, very good. It's going to be very tough to get over. Really, the one hiccup they had was their loss against the Jets. Ironically enough,
right?
The Jets were able to stop them on offense and make enough plays on their side of the ball to win the game.
Dan Quinn, watch that tape for the Jets. Watch the tape the Jets have. I feel like we can do anything the Jets did. We can do as good or almost as good as they did. So we've got to be able to go ahead and, replicate what they did as much as possible. And the things that disrupted the Eagles' offense, we need to try and replicate it on defense. And I think we're capable of doing that. Mm-hmm. Where'd you go? Are you watching the game?
Sorry, They just called a stupid penalty, so I don't know. I'm insulting right now.
Oh man, we need to do these a little later when the game's on. When those games are on.
That's the only reason I was gonna have trouble with this is because of the Bedlam was on. I'm so upset that they put this at 2:30. So
yeah,
I'm not happy about it. I was like, at least put it in prime time so I can watch it late and.
Right.
Whatever. But yeah, Philly's a raucous crowd. They're tough. They're going to be tough to take care of because, like I said, this team has been well-rounded. They've probably been the most well-rounded team in the division this year. But that's not saying much because the NFC in general hasn't really been that good. So,
exactly.
You can still. This is still winnable. It's not like they're going to go into the link and get crushed. Right. We were talking about it on the NFC East Roundtable on Wednesday night. This is probably going to be a very high scoring game and one of those games where the last team that has the ball wins the game.
It's possible. We'll see. It's possible. I don't know if it's going to be high scoring. It'll be in the 20s, I think. I just have a feeling it's going to be not a shootout, 30-something. I feel it'll be somewhere in the 20s. So it won't be a low scoring, but it'll be kind of those kind of an entertaining game, and you get a few scores, in spurts. You'll get maybe a score, I don't know, in spurts, whether you get them early or late. I feel like they're going to be, a section of the game where everybody's going to be scoring back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. It could become like the game was in Dallas last year. If it gets very high scoring, it'll be like that game in Dallas last year. If not, it'll probably be like the Philly game last year, where it was a little low scoring, and they were still able to make a comeback and almost make it a game there at the end too. So
right,
okay.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, I don't know if he's going to come or not. So
yeah. So it might just be us two today. So
yep, that's fine. We'll make it work.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we usually do. So, but yeah, this is going to be what is the key here in this game offensively against the Philadelphia defense?
I feel like it's the key every game. Get CD involved early on the offense. Whether you're even if you're giving him an end around or a little, wide receiver screen, just get him involved early. I think it's key to our offense. I think that gets our offense going in the right direction. Even more so than the run game. I think we do have to have our run game improve, but having CD Lamb just get early touches and get involved early is always key to get our offense off the ground, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the keys for us. Make sure CD Lamb is involved early and often, and get the offense rolling in the right direction.
Yeah, I would say so too. You're not going to be able to establish the run early. The Eagles are just too good for that. You got to
try.
You got to try. There are a couple things you could probably run at Hassan Reddick, who's kind of like the Micah Parsons for them. He's their dynamic pass rusher. If you run at the very best pass rusher, you usually have success. But you still got the big boys in the middle who do very well, Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. So that'll still be a problem to deal with, especially on offense. But yeah, get 88 involved. Get 88 involved early. Remember, last year they didn't have Dak for this game, so So this will be interesting to see how he does on the road in the league against this team.
The fact that we won without him, though, it should be a positive thing, really.
Well, they didn't win the Philly game in Philly. They won at home last year.
They won at home last year, right?
Yeah, they won at home. They won at home last year.
One of them, Dak was missing. One of them, Jalen was missing, right?
Isn't that
what happened?
So year? They did. Jalen was missing in the game in Dallas, and Dak was missing in the game in Philly.
But we actually played pretty well even without Dak.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is the guy who did well in that game is not on our team anymore. It's Ezekiel Elliott. So
yeah.
But it is what. Oh, George is up 27-21. Uh-oh, Cam.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, I knew one of those games was going to be kind of a bugaboo for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where's that game, on ABC?
CBS.
CBS? No, your game.
Yeah, our game's on ABC, yeah.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to – I can put it on my screen at least.
10 minutes left in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. Okay. Man, I'm stressed. But, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a tough game.
Yeah.
So, defensively, what do you think some of our keys to the game was against this offense?
I think defensively, you always want to say Micah, right? You want to get Micah going, but he's going to do what Micah's going to do what Micah does, right? And I think the key to this game will be our corners against their receivers. I think if we can minimize the big plays with A.J. Brown and who's the other guy? Devontae
Smith.
Yeah, if we can minimize the big plays, I mean, you're not going to completely shut them down. It's going to be hard. Even though we have quite capable corners and defensive backs, it's going to be hard to completely shut them down. But minimize those big plays because that's the ones. Despite Jalen Hurts' struggles, he's been good that deep ball, right? He's been good at getting big plays, big chunk plays off the deep ball. If we can minimize those, I think on defense, and part of that will be getting to Jalen, right? So it all culminates. But I think even when he does get those deep balls off, just minimizing being able to catch those. Don't get a PI. Be able to be in good position to knock the ball down or whatever the case, even an interception if you can. But as long as they don't make a lot of those big deep ball plays, I think that'll be key to winning this game for us.
Mm-hmm. I think the big key is going to be the turnover game. I think their offense is susceptible to turnovers. We've seen that already this season. Jalen hasn't taken care of the ball that well, and our defense has created a lot of turnovers. They've created a lot of turnovers this year. We've got 3 pick sixes this year. So I think the turnover battle is going to be a huge factor in this game. Again, this might be a high-scoring game, and it's whoever has the ball last wins the game. But I still think turnovers are still going to be a big factor in whoever wins.
Okay, that's possible. I mean, that could be a possibility. Like I said, if we limit our turnovers, I think that'll be huge. That'll be huge. And even if we don't get a lot of turnovers, as long as we limit the big plays, to me, those big plays down the field are the biggest thing for us. Even if there's a couple of turnovers on each side, but those big plays seem to be killers. AJ Brown's had a lot of them this year, and so I think limiting that, and not getting PIs and that kind of stuff, but just being solid defensively on those deep shots. I think if we limit those, because that's been their kind of their spinach or whatever you want to call it, right?
Bread and butter.
Their bread and butter, whatever. If everything's kind of failing, they've always been able to hit those. And kind of get juice back into the offense with hitting a couple of those. And so I just think we have to limit those at somehow, some way, even if they get one off early, limit them during the game, give them maybe 2 or 3 at the most of those kind of plays where they take advantage of them.
Also, be solid up front. Philly's going to try to run the ball on us because that's one of our weaknesses on defense is the running game. So you got to be solid up front. You got to stop the run, and you got to keep it to the 3rd and longs instead of 3rd and shorts. Right. So yes, you can. That big play, it's probably going to happen. Just keep them from the 3rd and 1s, the 4th and 1s, and keep them out of tush push range, is what I like to call it.
Right.
So
you probably have to be at least get them to 4th and 3 or more in order to keep them from doing that.
I remember Jalen had a fumble on the tush push last week, so
right. And
if you get to it, go for the ball. Go for the ball.
Exactly. And he's a little banged up. He's wearing that knee brace. So he hasn't last game. I don't think he only ran it once or twice. So they're protecting that knee. Something's not right with him. So he may not run too many tush pushes. They may try it like they did before. They run that kind of handoff,
like play. A running back counter. Or something like
they did last game. I think they did a little running back counter off of that play, thinking they were going to do a tush push, but they ended up handing it off, and they got an easy touchdown. So just I would say be on the lookout for some more plays like that. That they don't actually run it, because I don't think they want to run it that much until they're going to go into a bye week, so they want him to get healthy. So they don't want him to re-aggravate whatever's going on with his knee. They want him to get out of there with as little injury or aggravation of that injury as possible, and then go into the bye week and get an extra week of rest on that knee, whatever's going on with that.
Mm-hmm. So, going to be kind of a short show today, but since can't make it, but final thoughts here. What do you think is going to happen in this game, and give it your overall predictions?
Here, I don't know if you know this, Alan, but me and Can are going to go to the game in Dallas against Philly on the 10th of December I think it's a Sunday night football game.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be there. So my dream scenario is they lose this game at home. I mean, in Philly, and then at home we win the game, because I feel like we're going to split. We're going to do a home. We're going to split with Philly somehow. So my dream is that we lose this game. Not that I want us to lose. If we win, that's great. But we lose this game, and then we win the one at home, or we're the one we're going to be at. you know. But my head and my heart, man, are telling me we're gonna win this game. I mean, we're gonna pull it, and then hopefully we win the one at home too. So that's my hope, is that we win both of them. But that would be a tough task to win both games, against Philly. But I feel like we're gonna win this game. We're coming off good momentum. I think here's the key that has happened the last couple games. Dak seems to have gotten comfortable in this offense. He seems to kind of be able to manage this offense in his way, right? He kind of it feels like he feels more comfortable the way McCarthy's calling plays, the plays that he tries to run. And so I feel like this is just going to be a culmination, and Dak's going to have another really good game. And I think we're just going to be able to, I don't know, I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think we're going to handily win this game by about 10 points. Unfortunately, if for me, if we end up losing our home game, but hopefully we win both. But I feel like this is how we're going to split it. We're going to lose home and home games, is my feeling right now. But I do feel like we're going to pull this game out. I feel like our defense is going to show up. I feel like we're going to be able to get after Jalen because of that knee. He's not going to be as mobile, and we have a lot of speed on defense with Micah and some of these other guys and Bell. I just feel like we're going to be able to get to Jalen and, get them out, get them in a lot of long, third and longs and maybe even fourth and longs, so that they don't have to do tush push. So I think we're going to limit their offense a little bit. They may get a few big plays down the field, but I feel like we're going to win this game by 10 to 12 points. For some reason, I have a good feeling about this game.
Well, I mean, your gut feelings haven't been wrong yet. So,
I know, but I'm feeling bad. I'm like, oh, we're gonna lose. We're gonna win here and lose when I'm there at the game.
Well, I think it's going to be a very high scoring game. I think it'll still be close. Again, I think it's going to be last team who has the ball wins.
Okay.
I was going to say, I predicted Wednesday night, I said 31-30. Game-winning field goal for us.
30-point games, and we're hardly ever right on those.
I know, right? It just seems like the natural score to go to is in the 30s. So, but yeah, I'd say 31-30. I think we win on a game-winning field goal. It's gonna be a tough outing because Philly is really good. They have a good team overall, but I think we can pull this out. We're not dead yet. We're not dead yet, America. We're still here.
Not dead yet.
And not only that, they're going to have a lot of positive energy in that locker room after the Rangers won the World Series. So
yeah, let's go.
So
Rangers, let's go, baby.
I mean, thank God.
But still, the first time in the history of the Rangers, you got to have a little bit of a shout out for that.
Little bit of a shout out to that, but yeah. I'm going to say the Cowboys win as well. I think it'll be a lot closer than 10 points. Unfortunately, it'll be a game-winning field goal at the end, but I still think they're able to squeak it out and get a win on the road in Philadelphia. I think they have the ability to anyway. So
I'm gonna give you my score. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 29-17, somewhere in that range, 29-17. I just feel like we're gonna limit their offense a little bit. AJ Brown, he's had all these games, 125 plus and all that. I think we're going to keep him. He may get 100 yards, but he's not going to get that 125 plus. I feel like we're going to play great on defense, and Jalen's going to have a tough time, and we're going to get to him. I have 2 or 3 sacks. I don't know if he'll have a turnover, but he's going to be under pressure quite a bit. And I just think we're gonna pull away a little bit in this game and maybe close early. Like I said, the last game, I really think this will be a close game going into the second half. And we just pull away in the third, fourth quarter. We just pull away and just, limit their offense. And we're just able to win this by about 10 to 12 points.
What's up, Italy? Italy Jet in the house.
What up, Italy?
He's a big Jets fan. The team's on a hot streak right now.
I know.
Three games in a row.
Who thought without Aaron Rodgers, they'd be, 4-3?
Yeah, they're 4-3. They've won 3 in a row. I think
they actually could.
I actually think they can beat the Chargers on Monday night. So
it's possible. It's possible. I think the Chargers are going to win. I just think the Chargers are a better team than their record shows. They've lost a couple of close ones and a couple of dumb plays by the coach. If the coach doesn't, continue to make dumb decisions, I think they'll win, and they'll be a possible borderline wild card team.
Yeah. Italy, our baseball team is World Series champions. So yeah, we're good. We're definitely good. me though. My football team is trailing Oklahoma State right now. So
are they?
Yeah, the Cowboys just scored. So
just now? Oh, it was 21-17 when I looked up a second ago.
Mm-hmm.
They just scored?
Yeah, they just scored.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not happy, but no, they're throwing this game away like they did last week against Kansas. So
I called that one. I knew they were going to lose that game. I just had a bad feeling about that game for y'all. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you might lose this one, and and then they'll have forever bragging rights until you ever meet
they
again.
just turned the ball. They just turned the ball over too.
Who?
I think
the Sooners?
Yeah.
Oh wow. As long as the Jets don't play down to the Chargers level, we should win. But our defense is going to keep us.
They just fumbled the ball again.
I think the defense will keep you in the game. I just feel like the Chargers are going to start gaining some momentum. I think Herbert's starting to feel better with that offense. He's had to make adjustments to that offense of Kellen Moore, so he'll start to look a little better, a little more comfortable, a little better. And so I feel the Chargers are going to pull that one out, but we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully things turn out good. So
yeah,
I really do think that the Jets can get a win, especially with them at home.
I think they definitely can win the game. I just feel like the Chargers are going to they're just playing better, and they're going to start getting on a little bit of a roll.
Yeah, defense is ass, but their offense finally clicked because they didn't get any pressure from the Bears defense at all in that game. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's what we think about not only our game but the Monday Night Football game as well. So
right,
we're doing two games at once.
Yeah, we might as well throw the Bills and the Bengals out there. I don't know what we think about that game. But.
Oh man, I'm going to say the Bengals at home because the Bills are still a little shaky to me. So.
Man, the Bills, that's a must win for both of those teams. Neither one of those teams can afford to lose that game. The Bills are they in second place now?
I believe so. I believe Miami's still.
And if the Jets win and they lose,
if they're both tied, then Buffalo has the head-to-head win. But
against the Jets,
against the Dolphins. So,
but I'm saying if the Bills lose and the Jets win,
they would be tied. They would be tied.
It'd be like in third place, wouldn't they? No, the Bills would be in third place.
Yeah,
the Bills would be 4-4, and the Jets would be 5-3.
So they're both 4-3 right now.
Well, I think they're both 4-3 right now. Yeah, you can look and see, but I thought they were both 4-3.
Let me look at that real quick.
I think the Buffalo's 5-3, maybe.
I look up AFC East standings. That gives me the AFC West. What's going on?
They're 5-3. They're
5-3. They're a half game ahead of the Jets right now.
Yeah. Oh, but by division record, they would be ahead of the Bills if they both have the same record.
Yeah.
So,
27-21 Oklahoma State.
And the Bengals can't afford because they're in fourth place in their division right now. I mean, even though it's kind of they're all kind of got 3
Even though it's pretty much a toss-up at this point in the AFC South. So.
Right. So, they both need this game. This is a must-win for both of them. I like the Bengals, too. I think they're starting to get on a roll. But, man, the Bills need this game badly, too. So, it's going to be a good game. I feel like it's going to be a good hard-fought game.
Yeah.
We'll see what
happens. Shut down Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. You guys will be fine. Yeah, that's pretty much their offense at this point. So,
but that's not easy.
And Justin Herbert does not do well with pressure in his face. He hasn't done it this year. And
that's easier said than done, though. To shut those guys down, though.
The Jets have a good enough defense to where they can get pressure in his face. So, we'll see how that goes.
We'll see how that finger's doing now.
Definitely. Flo, where can the people find you at? What you guys got coming up?
All right, and so you can find us at The Bottom Line Sports on any platform. The Bottom Line Sports on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, all those platforms. We usually come out an audio portion of our show the next day on Spotify. So you can find us on Spotify if you want to do that's good too, yeah. And so anywhere on The Bottom Line Sports, we have about 1,400 members on the Facebook group, and so we'll be on Sundays, we come on, wrap up the Sunday, what happened on Sunday, and preview Sunday night football, Monday night football, prior to the Sunday night football game, about an hour before. We do about 6:35 Central, try and get it right as the last games are finishing and going into the Sunday night football. And then we have a Tuesday show at 7 Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. That where we touch on all the sports. We're sure to hit the Rangers and the MLB, and we try to put in some boxing and some UFC stuff in there with the Professor and Clubber D, and Hot Take Jake comes in there with his hot takes, and Can. And
if you haven't seen Hot Take Jake, y'all definitely watch it for that.
You have to go see Hot Take. If you've never seen him, if you've never heard him, it's a must.
You think our takes are bad? Hot Take
They're definitely hot. They're definitely hot. I mean, they're hot.
Hot Take Jake has some of those takes that you're just like, huh?
What? And you're like, you think he's kidding sometimes. You're like, he's joking, right? But he's not joking. He's not joking. When you watch it, you think he's got to be kidding. Nope, he's not kidding. He's for real. So those are his real takes.
My goodness.
Yeah. He's definitely entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with some of those takes.
Yeah. Well, it kind of has to be. He's a Broncos fan, so he's got to have some kind of joy in life.
I mean, they're 3. He says they're gonna make a run for the playoffs now. 3-5.
I mean, if Russ plays well, yeah, you could see them make a run here.
I'm just saying, is that he still has faith that they're gonna make the playoffs, and he still has them in the AFC Championship game.
Oh, talk about hot take. God.
He hasn't given up on it. He put that out early on in the season.
Some of his takes have actually come true.
I mean, some of them have come true, though. He's had a few good ones. You know what it is? With the Broncos, he's got too much bias with the Broncos. So his hot takes with the Broncos are usually just they're all heart.
They're heart takes, not
all heart takes. Yeah, for sure. But some of the other ones, he does pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For me, you can find me at Peralez 30. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be on the Sunday Night Football postgame show with Rob Logan and Johnny Cruz. We'll be going over the 49ers-Bengals game after it's concluded, unless it's a blowout, one-sided, and that will probably go early if that happens. But I don't think it will. It should be a very good game Sunday night. Tuesday we got the baseball show. This will be post World Series. We'll be talking about the Rangers win over the Diamondbacks. We'll be giving out our postseason awards. Talk about some of the free agents that are going to be popping up here. A lot of guys have announced free agency already. I did see this flow. Both Jose Leclerc and Andrew Heaney are coming back next year. So.
Yeah.
So Andrew Heaney has exercised his second-year option, and the Rangers have given Jose Leclerc his 2024 option. So
can we say repeat? I don't know, man. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be. There hasn't been a repeat since the 2000 Yankees. So
I mean, even if we just made it, even if we didn't repeat, if we just made it back, that would be awesome. I'd be good with that.
I would be good with it too. I think they have a good shot. I think Arizona has a good shot to get back too.
That's true. Yeah.
So
all these last 4 teams do. These last 4 teams that made it, I think they all have a good shot of making it back.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely.
Next year.
There's a lot of good young teams coming out next year for baseball. So definitely keep that eye out. Got the NFC South Roundtable, NFC East Roundtable on Wednesdays. This show on Saturdays. Got our college football show on Saturday mornings. A bunch of other stuff probably in the works. So definitely keep an eye out.
One?
And I said NFC East.
When is that one?
That is at 8 p.m. Central. So it'll be 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays. So
on Wednesdays. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, a lot of. Oh man, they missed a bad pass interference. What the hell?
I feel like you're a little distracted.
They missed a bad pass. They're not calling.
Distracted. You know that quarterback Bowman, he used to be at the Texas Tech quarterback.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then he went to Michigan for a couple of years, I think.
Yeah.
No. So But yeah, that's what we got. Definitely like, comment, share, subscribe. There's a lot of good stuff here on Let's Talk Sports. And go follow Flo and subscribe to the Bottom Line Sports as well. They do a great job over there. Flo, any last words before we head out?
Go Cowboys. That's all I got to say. Go Cowboys. Let's go. Let's win this game. And if we win this one, let's win the one when me and Cam go up there and go to the home game and are there at Cowboys Stadium and watching this at home in our home field. So if we win this one, let's win the next one too. Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys indeed. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you back here next Saturday. Hopefully they don't put the Sooners on at 2:30 again. But until then, love y'all. Stay safe. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you guys later.